Happy Friday, everyone. So, what have you guys been up to all week? Have you guys been productive, made some goals? Hopefully you're not in the hot seat like Diddy is this week. I don't know what to think anymore. It doesn't seem like their case is too strong, to be honest. But there's still a long way to go, so we shall see. I always say bad business catches up to you eventually. Same goes for Diddy. Took a long time, but they finally caught up to him. Where I never really liked Diddy, to be honest, but where I saw his true colors was for making the band. I was like, oh my god, like worst boss ever. Although maybe it was just for, the show or theatrics, but you could tell that was just genuine nature. Heard yesterday when Kid Cudi walked into the courtroom that Puff Daddy puffed his chest up and made it known that he didn't like his presence there, which is kind of crazy. But like I said, we'll see in the end if he is guilty. It's been a long time coming, but like I said, the case so far hasn't seemed very strong, to be honest. But since today is Friday, we should set up some goals for next week. I think I have my final dentist appointment next week. I'm gonna get a cap put on one of my teeth, and then I should be done, hopefully, for a while. I invested a lot of money in my mouth the last 2 years. But so, like I said, this weekend we need to think about what we want to do next week. You always want to be prepared and advanced a little bit ahead of everyone, a couple steps. That makes a big difference. Today, the stock market is down pretty much overall. GameStop and AMC and a couple other meme stocks are pumping. They pumped yesterday. AMC and GameStop were up 10%, and this morning it's still going up. Like I said, hopefully, how people say bad business catches up to you. Well, hopefully those hedge funds get what's coming to them, because all the hedge funds do is make business unfair. Business is hard enough as it is. The last thing that we need is someone trying to short your stock or mess up your finances on a business that's doing well. That's where a lot of the businesses have gone. They've been closed down intentionally by the hedge funds and the stock market, so they can have less competition, get the small to medium businesses out of there. They did the same thing with Sears, with Toys R Us. It just sucks, like I said, business is hard enough. The last thing you need is people trying to mess up what you got going on. Like most people are scared to take the risk to start a business, and that's totally understandable because it is scary. I would say maybe 10% of people even take the chance. So with them coming in and trying to mess up your business, it's just insulting, honestly. It's like the government trying to put their hands in everything. It's like, who are you to tell me what is the right and wrong thing to do, because your hands aren't clean either. So it's just something to think about. You always want to try to win in the stock market, and you can't really be biased. You can't go with companies that you believe in, because like I said, business is not always fair, unfortunately. But I would think today would be a good spot to buy in if you've never bought any stock, or just to start an account, because once the tariffs are finalized. I just have a feeling the stock market's gonna pump like crazy. Gold prices are still high, so that means that the stock market is not where they want it to be. Hopefully the interest rate, we can get that down. Cars are almost unaffordable now. It's crazy. It's like, I feel like you want to buy a house when you want to buy a car. And I don't know, things just don't last like they used to. You're not getting the quality item, but you're paying double for it. So it just kind of sucks. But we always want to be, like I said, 2 steps ahead of everyone, including the hedge funds and financial institutions. Okay, so everything is like pre-predicted into the stock. So say something happens today, that's already been calculated in for the most part in the stock market. So it makes it hard for the average Joe to be able to keep up. They're in that aspect are 2 steps ahead of us. But so they were saying that the tariffs are really throwing Wall Street for a loop because they can't predict what's going to happen. The deals are happening that day, and then the stock market is adjusting usually that same day or the next day. So it's actually, this is giving us a little heads up to be able to get ahead of them. So use the tariffs to your benefit in the stocks and try to, like I say, get a leg up on the guys in Wall Street. Honestly, I wish I was a guy in Wall Street. It seems like a pretty easy job. You have all the inside information. The stock market opens at 8:30 over here, closes at 3. I mean, that's better than teachers' hours. They make good money. What the problem is, we need to eliminate all of these hedge funds, like all of these middlemen. Like, why do we, if business is honest and fair and prices are the same across the board, why do we need a middleman? The only reason we need a middleman is because they're trying to make money off of you. Like, middleman. Like, don't believe everything they tell you. All these, like I said, insurance brokers, when it comes to your health insurance, oh, everyone gets a different price, and they just see how much they can squeeze out of you, honestly. And in my opinion, that's not good business. So all these middlemen need to get what's common to them, honestly. Hi everybody, thank you for joining. We're just kind of talking about finances, the financial institute, and the hedge funds, and how they always really have the home court advantage on us. But with the tariffs, there is a way for us to be able to get a leg up on them for once. So watch the stocks today. We're gonna see what GameStop and AMC do. Like I said, they were up 10% yesterday. I know a lot of the apes won't like this, but I've been buying and selling GameStop since 2020. I held on to most of my shares for a long time, and I just watched it go up and down, up and down. And I was like, no. Let me take some of these profits. I think they're so backwards that it wouldn't really matter as for like the shares. And so I have been slowly making money. I've made, I don't know the total, but you know, there's a comma in it, so I'm not complaining about what I've earned from GameStop thus far. It really is the prime example of big corp working against us as the little guy. You know, I really feel like Ryan Cohen got into this for the right reasons, to try to make an honest and fair business in a totally unlegitimate market, in my opinion. So I wish he could have interpreted what he wanted to do better, or had a better plan, because we do have all the finances in the world. But you know, brick and mortar is just, it's something that's not as successful as it used to be. Most people do most of their shopping online. Brick and mortar, if you look around, a lot of it is just like necessities. It's like tire shops, loan companies, gas stations, you know, like you don't see a whole lot of just like frivolous shopping anymore. So it's just something to consider, you know, like, and even with buying in the stock market, maybe you want to go more into like the microchips category. That's what I've been doing pretty well in. A lot of people are, because AI is up and coming. So that's a way to, you know, kind of be in like the back door of it. Is they have a Taiwan semiconductor, TSM. They have a couple others. Like I said, I've kind of been getting in and out of those. But yeah, we just want to always put our best foot forward, you know, with the opportunities that we're given. Opportunities aren't always promised, and you have to take advantage of them. So, like I said, using the tariffs to your benefit. As soon as they made the Saudi Arabia deal, I was like, okay, let me go ask Gronk or AI what stocks will be affected positively by the Saudi Arabia tariff deal. And it'll give you a general idea, you know. AI, there's so many ways that you can use it, and like, we're just not utilizing it like we should. Just like when the internet first came out, it's like, oh, let me chat with my friends, let me send an email. But now it's like the internet runs the world. So do you guys have any like special tips or just ways that y'all use AI? I've used it, like I said, with the stocks a little bit, you know, just to get some guidance, so I don't have to go and do all the number comparisons and analysis and all that. That's really not my forte at this point. I'm not quite there yet. But yes, there's a lot of like, I asked AI what are ways that I can improve my hula hoop shop, where I make my handmade hula hoops. And I mean, when I tell you this, the AI gave me so much information that I was like, wow, like, you know, asking me like real life questions, like, how many hula hoops can you physically make, you know, in a day? And I was like, well, that's it, point, you know, like, so it really kind of does some of the thinking for you. It even like checked out my website. I was like, oh, you know, your pictures are bomb, your design ideas are very interesting, you know, maybe you could work on this and you need to do that. Like, it was really, really interesting. So you always want to consider AI when you have a problem that you can't find a solution to. Like, for instance, at our house, wood to concrete is not a good thing. So our wood on our house is rotting because of the wood to concrete. So everyone's like, I don't know if there's a solution for that. And, you know, I've been talking about it for a month or two. Well, I was like, let me ask AI. So I asked AI, it gave me 4 different options of things that would work instead of putting wood to concrete again, you know? So like, it just instances like that. Like, I always say like that would probably be like the best inventions, like Scrub Daddy, the sponge on Shark Tank, like 2 holes and like a little mouthpiece to wipe off your fork. So simple. Like, anytime you have a problem in life, like, think of a solution, because sometimes the solutions are very simple and you could potentially get rich off of it, you know, having a good idea. So it's just something to consider, you know. Anytime I run into a problem, like, I don't know if you guys have any ideas, but that would be great if you do. Like, does anyone hate carrying in a case of water? Like, how awkward and uncomfortable can shopping be? Like, I'm pretty stout and strong for my size, and like, I just think about all like the old elderly people, like, trying to get their water into their house. Like, I even thought, like, I was like, maybe if we had like little carts, like when I was in school, we would put our book sacks on like carts. I was like, maybe if like people would have that in their car, they could put it in their basket and then bring the water down with that. Or even just like at home, you know, like that. There has to be a better solution. Like, Kenwood a long time ago would bring the jugs to your house, but that is long gone. You know, that was like the milkman milkman of our generation, the Kenwood man. But, you know, just like stupid stuff like that. Like, if you can find a solution, you might end up changing your life, you know? So that is a good time to take advantage. And so you have to take advantage of opportunities when you see them. Sometimes a struggle can be an opportunity, just depending on the way that you look at it. So always, you know, keep that in mind. But yeah, so hopefully everyone has a successful and easy Friday. Hopefully it's not too difficult of a day. You know, you never know what you're gonna face in a day, so you just gotta take it in stride. So yeah, if you're not invested yet, just open up your stock app today and pay attention to what's going on in the stock market. This weekend will be a good time to open up an account because the stocks will be closed on Monday for Memorial Day. I don't know if anyone has plans for Memorial Day, but we're definitely taking the day off. You know, I feel like a 4 and 3 work week would be ideal. You know, like 4 days working, 3 days off. And that's too much, really, in my opinion. But, you know, working 40 hours a week, sometimes you just feel like bound by the chains of society. And, like, you know, before, when we had more to show for it, where your money would go a little bit further, it was all good. Like, we didn't really care. But now it's like, after, you know, debate on what I'm going to put in my grocery cart when I'm working full time, it's fucking bullshit, honestly. And it sucks, you know? It's like, if that's what it took for us to pay attention, so be it. But we just have to keep our head on a swivel and pay attention to everything, you know? Unfortunately, the higher powers have showed their lack of integrity, I guess would be a good word for it. The government sucks. Like, it's like, can we get the apprentice Trump on there and be like, you're all fired, let's start over. Like, keep the essential programs that, in my opinion, you know, like welfare and food stamps. Like, there's so many able-bodied people on the system, you wouldn't even believe it. Like, there should be some type of standard where they get audited, you know, or checked, and see if they're looking for jobs. If they're not, or if there's no jobs available, then give them some stuff to do around the city. The cities are disgusting. They need to be clean. Like, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So nobody should be getting a free ride, in my opinion, unless they're totally disabled. So that's something that needs to be cleaned up, definitely, by the government. They have their hands in so much that want to put their hands in more and more and more. It's like, get your hands out of our stuff, just like the stock market. You know, it's like, no one needs you hedge funds, or honestly the government. Like, what do they do for us? What has the government done for you in the past year? Anything? You know, they audit businesses, so why can't they audit people that get free money from the system instead of people that are paying into the system? You know, like, there's such a double standard. There always is, there always was. I guess we just didn't see it. I've always had a problem with, like, staying in line with what I'm told. I follow my gut, I follow my instincts. Like, I went to a Catholic school, and I didn't agree with everything that was going on there. You guys are so holy and godly. And then you find out what's going on behind the scenes, and you're like, oh, okay, so you guys are telling me what to do, huh? Like, I've always had kind of a problem with authority, because it seems like they're trying to put their thumb on you for a reason. If you think about the school system, like, I hated school growing up. Like, it felt like torture sitting in a desk all day. That's not what we're meant to do. And if anything, the more that you think about it and the more that we know now, it feels like they were trying to indoctrinate us to do what they wanted us to do, work our 40-hour weeks for them. You know, like, the more that you open your eyes to what's going on, the more that you see the system is not legitimate. They once America was actually where we needed to be financially, they're like, well, how else can we make more money out of them? Oh, let's make these designer products in bags. Like, did you see China call us out on the bag market? Like, oh my God, with the tariffs. They're like, oh, look at this Birkin bag, costs $500 to make, and they sell it for $5,000, $50,000. I don't know. I'm not that crazy. I'm not gonna go buy a Birkin. What a waste of money, you know. I mean, quite honestly, the purse industry, the designer industry. Like, I used to be pretty big into fashion and, you know, labels and wanting the newest thing, and then I realized, like, whoa, like, this is a hamster wheel. Like, there's always a better designer to buy. There's always another Jones to keep up with. Like, don't worry about that. Like, buy what you like. If you love, like, this designer for a reason, not because everyone else is telling you to like it, then go and get it. You know, like, if you can afford it, there's a rule of thumb. If you can't afford it 3 times, then you can't afford it. So always apply that to anything that you buy. I would say besides a car or a house. But like, as for like just frivolous products that we don't necessarily need, if you can't afford it 3 times, then you can't afford it. So most of us can't afford 1 Birkin, much less 3. So never fall into their little honey trap, you know. You always want to just be your authentic self. Being a follower is never, it's not admirable, you know. It's like, you just, if you're naturally a follower, cool, you know, just be your authentic self. Like, I just hate trends and like people trying to keep up with the Joneses. Like I said, one of our friends is a millionaire and there's still Joneses to keep up with. So just always keep your mind straight for you. You always want to do what's best for you, because in the long run, that's the only person to take care of you is you. So you want to get your mental right always, and never fall into, like I said, the little honey hole trap, corporate America, because, you know, they'll take everything you have if you let them. But so, like I said, if you haven't or aren't, the stock market will be closed Monday because of Memorial Day. So if you want to do a little research this weekend and see, most of the stocks are at, I would say, like a good buying point from what I saw this morning. So always, like, go back on the chart. You want to go back, especially with like the drop that we had with the trade war. Like, that's going to be like a big drop that wouldn't have necessarily been there. So always look at your charts well. You want to look at like the month, the 3-month, and the year, so you can get a perspective. Sometimes it's crazy. It's like, wait, how is the first chart related to the second chart, you know? So you just really want to always see the bigger picture, especially when it comes to the stocks, and kind of know, you know, what's going on and how you can get ahead of everyone. Like, it really is like a big mind game. So I'm slowly figuring it out. It took me a while. I wasn't great at it at first, but you want to, if it feels like everyone's going to be buying, it's probably not a great time to buy. Or if it feels like everyone's going to start selling, then it's probably not a great time to sell. Because if it feels right, it's probably wrong. You know, like, I hate to say that, but you almost want to do the opposite of what financial, like, media tell you to do. If they're like, this is why you shouldn't buy the stock today, go buy it. Like, I'm serious. It's that sadly corrupt, but it's true. So just always keep that in mind, and you guys, I hope you have a great Friday. Do your research on the stocks this weekend, and we're gonna get back Monday. I'm gonna start actually trading calls and puts, which is very complicated, but I think it'll give me a better understanding of the stock market itself, and then hopefully I'll be able to teach you guys the information that I learn along the way. So just go do your research on like basic buying and selling on the stock market. At market price is what you're going to want to buy. At first they have like a bunch of options and it could look very confusing. Just put in the amount of shares that you want, and at market price buy, and whatever the market price is at that moment is the price that you'll get on your shares.